Hey, this is Majin Oni. It's the end of March, and let's just get through this really painful week of comics. First up, we have Cyberforce. Now, this was a huge book back in the heyday of Image, and I thought, you know what? Hey, Mark Silvestri's here. Why not? I'll just pick it up and give it a try. Support, the older characters that revolutionized everything. So I'm looking through this and I'm like, Mark Silvestri takes top billing, and it's created by him, but this issue's not written by him, art's not by him, not lettered, edited, but he did do a cover. So in other words, all you really did was you just did a cover, threw your name on top to make it look like you did something a little bit more substantial. And I gotta say, this book just was god awful. I started to read it, and then I was like, okay, let me look through this, see if this is worth my time. And I got to this part where he's like, "What did you do to me? You are tearing me apart." And I'm like, I'm done. Right there. I just closed it. I think, if anything, the fact that he put his name up on top without really doing anything creative in this book, inside the book, shows that this book was destined to just be really horrible. So, that's that. Horrible. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, number 41. Now, this is what I find is complete bull. Zod is basically, he is one of Superman's biggest, strongest villains. Hal cannot beat Superman. And, Hal can pretty much beat Zod, though, in an issue, which I thought was kind of, a little, like, bull, And to make matters worse, he does it by crashing planes into Zod. So this way, if there's anybody who has fear of flying or they're triggered by planes crashing in the air, that's all he did was he just triggered millions of Americans who, can't get over their insecurities and fears and phobias because the media keeps doing stuff like this. And I'm just like going, how did this happen? You know what I mean? It's like, that shouldn't have beaten Zod. It wouldn't have beaten Superman. And then to make matters worse, the Guardians and Jon Stewart come and, hey, Hal, hate to break it to you, but you gotta let Zod go. And I'm just like, oh my god. All of this, and you have to let him go. I mean, I realize that they're setting up something for the future. And that's what Zod, he allowed the Lanterns to leave because he got information that he needed. And I'm just, sometimes I would just rather stick my hand in boiling water than to read some of this stuff, Like the Terrifics. This is another one. There's some really cool parts to this. There's a part that, hey, here's Tom Strong, and I got this thing I got to tell you about. And everybody's like, who's he? I don't know. So let's just go on and skip to the future. Just skip the next pages and forget about Tom Strong. Then I got to this part here where they go to this origin story where this Phantom Girl, she's like, I was in this ship that was going to get destroyed. There's only room in the escape capsule for one, which is like, dude, you have like mom, dad, kid, and you only have an escape capsule for one. Oh, what an idiot. So anyways, they put the girl strapped in there, and then everything goes boom, but it goes off course and she lands in the negative zone. Or not the negative zone, the phantom zone, or whatever they call it. But anyways, my point. Wouldn't this be an awesome story? Same situation. Last Son of Krypton, something gonna go boom. And the mom and dad are going, we're going to put the kid in the rocket to launch him to another planet. Safety. But let's just say the dad goes psycho and he goes, you know what? I'm not dying. And he pushes the kid away, gets in the capsule, and goes to the other planet. Now, while that's going on, the kid then inadvertently, through some weird thing of science, manages to go into the negative zone, the phantom zone, or the neutral zone, or wherever zone you want to put him. Dark zone. He goes there. And he plots revenge. And, it's years. This kid's been in this thing for, time moves differently, so he's in there for years. Then the dad is on, let's say, Earth, and then he's sitting there with his new wife. He got some powers. He's got some kids. And the kid he thought was dead escapes and comes out for revenge. That is a story that I'd want to read. This is just stupid. Because there's cool parts to this. And I was really, when I got to this part, I was interested. But then they just escaped the dark matter zone. Just like, poof, we're back. And she's like, this Phantom girl was like, hey, something really weird is, I can't, this weird stuff was happening when I turned, so solid. What's going on? This is not cool. And Mr. Terrific goes, well, I will certainly help you. But first I need to take this SIM card that has all this data about the negative zone. And then I'm going to leave as I analyze stuff. So you can stay here, do whatever you want, and eventually I may come back for you. I'm like, what an asshole. Why didn't you're studying the antenna. You have the dark matter data. She is from the dark matter universe. She needs, and she's getting a weird reaction when she turns solid. And you just leave her behind. Oh my God. That is some of the crappiest writing for a superhero I have ever seen. And they only did this. And keep in mind, they did it poorly. Because what happens is Mr. Terrific leaves. And then because he's separated from the group, something happens. And they're drawn right back together again. And they can't be they can't be too far apart from each other. And I'm like going, I would kill him if I was this girl. I would put my hands through his heart, and just kill him like Kitty Pryde does. I would do something. Because that is the most dickish move, that a superhero can do to somebody who is in need of aid. Oh, yeah, I understand that you have some issues, but I got what I wanted, and I'll leave you. I'll come back, maybe, if I have time. Unbelievable. I'm done. This book, done. There is nothing redeeming now that DC can do for this character. The book's done. Unbelievable. What editor allowed that? He should have taken the girl, studied her along with the antenna and the data, and then if you still want to do this thing where they're brought back together again, that's fine. But that's still stupid. Why don't they all go? Why didn't he go, look, if she's like this, maybe you guys have some sort of other issues that we don't know yet. Let's do some testing for you. Make sure you guys are okay. That's a superhero. Sorry, guys. See you later. Yeah, done. You're not seeing my money anymore. Stupid book. And then we get a Doomsday Clock, where it's the origins of the new version of Rorschach, and I don't know. The art's great. Story is just. The story to me is not really compelling. It's like, yeah, there's some things in there that are kind of interesting, but there's nothing in between those events that make me go, hey, I want to learn more about this character. Hey, this guy is interesting. He can stand on his own as Rorschach. Nah, all he is just some, like a blank slate that's sitting in a costume of, like in a Halloween costume, pretending to be a character who's really popular. And it's just like, wow. I mean, it's well written, it's a well-written turd, but, you know, what can you say? And then there's metal. You know, I honestly have... I changed air conditioning filters more than I have in reading this book in 6 issues. I've changed more filters than should be possible. Because this book is so freaking late, you know, and it's like, you figure it's at least 3 months late, you know, because Silence is on issue 3, Silencer's on 3, and that's from the pages of Dark Metal, you know. Same with Damage, from the pages of Dark Metal, and freaking pages of Dark Metal. It's all at the end. It's like, and then because of this occurred, we have all these really weird things that are going on, type thing. All I know is I'm reading this, and there's just, hey, here's 6 Batmans who are now fighting the enemies. Here's superheroes. They get this dark metal power now, and then they're just I mean, all right. Granted, Wonder Woman makes sense, you know. But then there's Aquaman's killing them. There's Hawkgirl. Okay, Hawkgirl makes sense too. But she's, you know, heads are just being sliced off. Bodies are being sliced off. Plastic Man is eating, killing, and suddenly it's like they turn into an episode of the Power Rangers where they get power-up armor, and everybody's like, whoa. Then it comes time for the fateful confrontation between Batman and the Man Who Laughs, and then Joker shows up, and Batman's like, oh, we're not going to talk about this afterwards, right? Because that's like, if they found out, you know, that we're buds. You know, I'm like, oh my god. And then it's like, then you get this long dinner party, and look at this, everybody's all happy, everything is back to normal again. We got new stories. Atlantis rises, you know, for some reason, and there's all sorts of really wow things, and I'm just like, look, this book actually could be good, for all I know, if you read this, you know, back to back in a trade. But when your book is so late between chapters, when your miniseries just, you know, they don't really add depth to the book. All they're really doing is they're just highlighting, okay, this is this version of Batman, that's that version of Batman. It doesn't really add to the storyline. I mean, heck, I still remember Batman and Superman trapped on a planet with everybody else, and suddenly they're, you know, I mean, that's how long it's been, and I don't remember this stuff because it's not important, you know. They didn't compel me to like reread some of this stuff because it's so late. I don't know. I just think that this is waste. It's just a wasted opportunity. It was just basically, it's mass chaos, and that's what this last issue is. It's just mass chaos. Capullo is just drawing bodies everywhere just for the sake of armies of, you know, dark matter universe villains or heroes that are villains now, and it's just, you know, it's like you're trying too hard is the problem. You know, like, instead of seeing 6 Batmans, you know, how about create 6 new characters that are compelling and look interesting and have their own unique voice? This way, it makes us want to know more about these characters, and then makes us want to maybe buy those books instead of, oh, okay, there's Vampire Batman, there's Moscow Batman, you know, here's 3 detective chimps. You know, it's like, yeah. It's like you're playing poker, you know. It's like I'm trying to collect my 3 of a kind. It's just no. And this, oh god, it's like Tim Drake sees the future, and the future is very grim for Batman because Cassandra Cain comes and kills Batman. And I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, I knew that this was fake even from the beginning. Okay, granted, when I saw her wandering around without the mask, I kind of got a better clue. But I was just like, this makes no sense. And this is the dark future that Tim Drake kind of turns evil from. And I'm just reading this, and I'm just like going, I suddenly realized something, and I'm going to take a guess here. I don't think Clayface is dead. I think what happened here is this is another Batman plot that he didn't tell anybody about. And my theory is Cassandra Cain shot Clayface and killed him. So this way Batman would kick her out of the Belfry and then go to her father. And then when she's now with the father, then she's going to get whatever intel she wants or needs. She's going to gain his trust, and then she's going to shut it down, and Batman's going to say, fiendish plan worked. That's my thought. Because think about this for a second. Batman has a very strong morals of do not kill. Don't use guns, don't kill, don't do any of this nonsense, no matter what. And here's Clayface rampaging, right? And Cassandra shoots him in the head and kills him. And then there's no penalty. You know what I mean? It's like, how many times have we seen people go crossing the line and there's penalties? There's nothing. She's allowed to proceed about her day-to-day things, and without a care in the world from Batman or anybody. She's off limits, And also, if you think about it, it's Clayface, right? What's to say that didn't kill him? He's clay. He can change his shape. He can, who knows if she even hit him in the head? She could have moved the position of his brain and whatnot. So I bet you, that could have been even just a part of his body that pretended to be dead, and the real Clayface is somewhere else. My guess is that's what happened. If that is the case, that is a freaking stupid idea. Unbelievable. I don't know. I'm just not happy with any of those books. So then we get to Silencer. It actually wasn't too bad. It's basically, it's just guns shooting, people getting killed. And what it really shows is, like, basically they use like a satellite laser to try to kill her, and in the process they kill everybody in the building that is trying to kill her. So from that standpoint, it shows what they will do to stop her, or to get rid of her, to silence her, or get her off the playing field because of the Civil War thing. But then I saw the end, and the ending, I'm just like, I just rolled my eyes. I'm like going, did they have no faith this book was going to sell, so that way they threw in Deathstroke, the Terminator, at the end? And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he makes sense because he's an assassin and blah, blah, blah. But, at the other hand, I'm like going, you have no faith this book was going to work. So you threw Deathstroke in to try and drive up sales. Now, I also saw Hit Girl 2 on the store. I didn't buy it. I don't even remember. I don't think I bought the first issue. And if I can't remember buying the first issue, I'm not buying the second. So, anyways, this is the pull. Painful pull. Very painful. Tell me more stuff later. Let me know what you guys picked up, what you guys are looking forward to reading the most. Hopefully you guys aren't looking forward to reading some of the stuff I read, but we'll see. Until next time.